네, 철력 13년 1월 21일, 양력으로는 2025년 2월 18일, 제150회 새벽을 여는 참사랑 천보 가정교회
Today is the
아침
18th of February,
기도회를
and we
시작하도록 하겠습니다.
start the
먼저
150th
천지인
Hondoke session.
참부모님께
So let's bow
우리
to true
마음을
parents.
모두어서 경배를 올리도록 하겠습니다. 천지인 참 부모님께 경배. 바로 가정맹세를 제창하도록 하겠습니다. 가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상천국과 천상천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황조권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 오늘은 우리를 대표해서 다카시 고다바상께서 기도해 주시겠습니다. 잘 부탁합니다.
Open up with a representative
愛す
prayer.
る天皇父母様、誠のご父様、ご静恩心より感謝いたします。今日天暦13年1月21日、陽暦2025年2月18日、今日も誠の天保家庭訓導会に多くの兄弟姉妹を導いてくださった天皇父母様と誠のご父様に心より感謝申し上げます。オーストラリアの地により訓導会が今日で150回目となります。私たちの日々の信仰生活において、どれほど恩恵深いこの訓読会の場でありましょうか。四会長の語られる御言葉の内容が実に本当にわかりやすく、生活の中で 御言葉を実体的に歩むためのエキス、心情的な内容や、自身の課題解決のための多くの御言葉を具体的に毎日毎日語ってくださる、その中で、今まで30年以上信仰生活をしてきていても、気づくこともなかった自分自身の堕落性の強さ、いかに傲慢で自分中心かを、この朝の訓読会を通して、今になってようやく少しずつ悟ることができました。私の霊的成長を一番そばにいる妻や子供が少しずつ気づいてくれ、訓読会の恩恵だと心より感謝申し上げます。まだまだですけれども、一歩一歩理想家庭に近づいてきていることを本当に天の前に感謝申し上げます。そして毎日ここに参加される全世界の兄弟姉妹の皆様とお会いできることも励みになっていますし、皆さんの困難を乗り越えてこられた証や天の御胸のために生々を立ててこられたご心情の一端を聞ける感謝の所感が本当に私自身に励みになっていました。2月末で訓読会が終わるとお聞きし、正直残念でなりません。しかし、いつまでも甘えるなとお父様が言われているような気がします。これまで4会長が語ってくださるその御言葉を学んだ多くの御言葉を今度は実体となるために天が与えてくださる機会なのかもしれないと自分自身に言い聞かせている自分がおります。そのように捉え、すべての親がこう思う共通の考え、愛する我が子が親以上立派に成長してほしいと、私自身にご父母様、誠のご母様の似姿に自分も近づけるように、家庭に神様をお迎えし、先民の立場で責任と使命を持ち、目の前の4月13日、天一聖殿入宮式に向けて、生々を立ててまいりたいと思います。毎朝この誠の天保家庭訓導会のために、どれほど多くの生々を捧げてくださる4会長、そして通訳スタッフの皆様に心より感謝申し上げます。これより訓導会を始めていただくにあたり、ここに参加されるシックの皆様のお祈りと合わせ、ホーリーマザーハンにハベル祝福家庭、児玉隆の名によって感謝の祈祷を捧げ申し上げます。アージュー。
아주, 네, 다카시 고다마さんの お祈り、本当にありがとうございます。本当に真面目な기도だし、正直な기도だし、とっても信条的な기도だし、
Thank you
本
so
当
much
に
for your
あり
prayer,
がとうご
for
ざい
the
ます。
filial and
私は
artistic prayer.
高橋さんと和美さんの見言葉の感謝や、ね、時々感謝の話で、私もとっても恵みをもらっています。本当にありがとうございます。今日はマッキーさんと、フリッチの花子さんが仕事で日本に行ったと思いますけど、そして、今日はうちの小寺さとみさんがちょっと感謝の話に対して知訳ができるかなと思っていますが、 よろしくお願いします。できるかな、さとみさん？네, 그러면 오늘은 우리 코지산 또 치주루산이 나니까 기모치가 있겠다 이랬을けどね. 요로시쿠 오네가이시마스. 코지사마.
Like to ask for your gratitude, appreciation.
안녕하세요. 빨리 네, 하이.
ありがとうございます。
안녕하세요.
今も、
Hello.
小玉さんの、お祈りにもありましたけど、4会長の訓読会がですね、2月末の話がありまして、本当にショックはすごくショックだったんですけども、うーん、4会長が、相当決意をされて、そのような決断をされたんだと、思うと、本当に今まで、訓読会に参加させていただいて、自分たちが本当にこの訓読会に参加していたから、こんな素晴らしい家庭を築けた、あるいは周りから見られて、もう本当にご夫婦は、あるいはご家庭は、本当に模範的な家庭だなと、言われるようにならなければいけないなと、改めて、その時に思いました。
조치약고してからよろしくお願いします.
음, 음, 근데 용 회장님이 이 분독회가 2월 말까지라고 말씀을 하셨는데,
Dr. Young said that he will
그중에
continue with the Hundoke for this month.
거든요. 용 회장님이 초래살까지 어, 용 회장님이 교례해서 교장 하실 때까지를 생각하면
I still think about when Dr. Young was the church leader in our church.
참가해서
And I'm grateful that I could always participate in the Hundoke.
이렇게 만들 수 있어서 모험적인
And
가정을
Dr. Young is showing a model family,
모범적인
showing a
가정을
model of family as a model of the family.
나가야 되겠다고 생각이 들었습니다.
And also, I think I need to follow that example and go forward.
その日は、下村先生のですね、奥様に対する、証というか、すごい感動して、こちらも本当にすごい涙が出てくるというかですね。で、みんなが祈祷し終わった後、共鳴祈祷し終わった後、もう皆さんの顔が画面に出てきたときに、本当に皆さん涙されていまして、本当にすごく感動的でした。で、私自身は、自分自身のその愛の訓練をされる場所は、どこか外に出て、例えば、外に出ていく中で自分自身が訓練されるんだと思っていたところがあったんですけど、結局は自分の家庭で、それを本当にしなくちゃいけなかったことを、本当に気づかされて、本当に
そうだよ。
自分の本当に生活がすごく変わっていると感じております。本当にありがとうございます。
그래, 時間があまりないのでね、ポイントは本当に自分は本当に外で出て、外で何か愛の訓練を受けるんだ. 밖에서 사랑의 훈련을 받는다고 생각했는데, 결국 자기가 깨닫게 된 것은 가정에서 훈련을 해야 된다라는
He
것을
thought,
자기가 깊게
yeah, the speaker thought that he needs to be trained in loving through the secular world, but he had the realization that the true training of true love happens in the family itself.
네, 감사합니다.
そうですね。
Thank
私も
you.
本当に訓読会が終わってしまうことがショックでショックでちょうど息子の勇気がちょっとだけ訓読会に朝参加したと思うんですけど、まあ、その2日間のことを、まあ、まあ、ゆしえお母さんにもいろいろ報告しないとなと思っていたんですけど、でそれを早くしないとと思っていたんですけど、その会長のお知らせでそれが全て吹っ飛んでしまってぐらい、ちょっとショックを受けました。ですが、まあ、先ほど児玉さんがお祈りされたように、まあ、本当に私たちは多くの御言葉と愛を常にいただいてきて、まあ、私自身はやっぱりこのよしえお母さんの生活も見ているので、本当に私たちは今なんていうんですかね、これ以上会長の時間を奪ってはいけないなと、本当に家庭で、過ごされる時間をもっともっと作っていただかないといけない時に来ているんだなというふうに自分の中では消化して、まあ、この試練を超えていきたいと思っています。
그래서それはあまりも心配しないで、朝の訓読会がいなくても今までずっと話した内容をどうした中心してずっと実践することが残っているのでね、今まで録音したこともいっぱいあるし、で最初からずっと見ながらともっと反省をして、と自分は自分なりにと訓読会をしながらやるべきだと思いますよ。で、後で이제もう本当に天日極の安着の時代になると、もう時代が変わるのでね、もっと時があるじゃないかと思っています。今は本当に誠のお母様を中心して、本当に전심원이お祈りや集中しなきゃならないとおっしゃっているので、そこでもっと集中するために私が決めたことです。だから皆さんがその内容をよく理解してください。ありがとうございます。そして時間があまりないので、すぐに、訓読会を始まるんだと思います。그래서 여러분, 제가 이렇게 2월 말까지 이렇게 결정을 하는 것은 오직 한 가지 이유입니다. 뭐 우리
I will
사정 때문에 그런 것이 아니고
only have the 100K until the end of February. It's not because of my family, but the direction is to really center it on Chom Shimwon. I have focused in the morning with the morning devotion. And now I feel strongly that instead of morning devotion, I will focus on the Chom Shimwon. This is really what Mother wants. And this is the era of the settlement era. And we need to this is the era where we need to have natural, the 100K, that we need to live by the 100K. And now let's start with the 100K. And today we are also, as all members from all over the world, we are offering devotion for True Mother's Health and for the restoration of the fatherland. And I greet you all, brothers and sisters, and thank you for your devotion.
진짜 그동안 여러분하고 너무 정이 들어가지고
For this time now, we have really become much closer artistically. and I only have the Hundoke until the end of this month, and I feel really I'm longing for you all. And I really have many moments where my tears are flowing thinking of you. And I believe there will be another opportunity where we can meet again. And I will even more thoroughly prepare mother's words and study father's words and mother's words and really research how I can really deliver the word that true parents want to deliver to all mankind. And this is going to be my effort, and that I also can have a series about true love, and also a series about families that start their families, and also 40-day workshop that I can also give. I give those series, and I will arrange all that, and will really prepare individually as well, and prepare my heart. So when I see you again the next time, then I will convey even more deeper content, and will convey really how deep true parents' value is through the word. And I believe this is another opportunity will come. So now True Mother is the center of this physical world. And as we enter into the Chonwon-gong, we need to really prepare really well, and really now the next most important task is to unite North and South Korea, and we need to really march forward and be very diligent and active. So first I will read True Mother's words. It's the same topic like yesterday, the path of life for all humankind. A newborn baby automatically searches for its mother's breast, following the vibration of her love. Whether she is beautiful or ugly does not matter to the baby. The only thing that matters is that she is its mother. It is a sacred scene manifested in limitless variety. We are born in love, and we grow by receiving love. Each of us is the substantial fruit of our parents' love. The nature of our parents' love is made visible in us. Parents love their children because their children are the fruit of their love. Boundless love can multiply from this fruit. In this way, we are linked to the love of the individual, family, tribe, nation, world, universe, and ultimately to the essential love of God.
세계적인 사랑, 우주적인 사랑, 그리고 본질적인 하나님의 사랑까지 연결될 수 있는 길이 여기에 있는 것입니다. 내가 출생한 후 60년
Once we are born, our parents take responsibilities to see that we become good human beings during our life on earth. Our parents act on behalf of the world, the nation, and the family to teach and provide for us. We receive material things and education from our parents so that we may become complete as individuals.
그것이 결혼입니다. 부모는 자식이 결혼할 때까지 책임을 지게 됩니다. 자식이 결혼해서 아버지와 어머니가 사랑하던 것을
Because based on this, we then become linked to a horizontal foundation of love, which is marriage. Parents take responsibility for us until we marry. After marriage, we inherit the love shared by our mother and father. When we marry and start rearing our own children, we begin to understand how much our parents loved us, and thus come to inherit parental love. In this way, a person becomes capable of receiving and giving love completely. This is how each of us matures as a complete man or woman. We are born in love, and we grow by receiving love.
사랑으로 태어나서 사랑을 받으면서 큰다. 이런 입장에서 볼 때
From this perspective, children are the substantial fruit of their parents' love. Parents cannot help but love their children because their children are the fruit of their love. beloved members, what's the path of our life? It is the path of love. When a child from a child up to the teenagehood, it's important that that child will receive the love from the parents. He needs to really receive that love. I need to also love. Boundless love can multiply from this fruit. In this way, we are linked to the love of the individual, a family, tribe, nation, world, universe, and ultimately to the essential love of God. So parents really need to give boundless love to their children. So the young child needs to really feel our mom and my father is really God. That kind of feeling needs to be conveyed to the children. The child doesn't know who God is. But I don't know true parents, but I need to really feel the substantial love from true parents through my physical parents. So, like, as I have really, then as a child, you need to have gratitude that God has made my physical parents, and through my parents, I can really love and long for true parents. So this is really the parents' responsibility. I came back to my own family in Australia, and because of my missionary work, I have not been able to love my own children. That was really the era of the wilderness. So we met, of course, God in the wilderness course, but in the settlement age is very different. The era of the settlement is different from the wilderness. So in the wilderness, we're fighting against Satan. We are really going forward. But now the war is over. Now we need to come back home to our home, and we need to settle down. We need to really establish the settlement. So there is no more war. So how does that become? How should we act? We need to really show that God exists in the family. In the family, we need to show what is the kingdom of heaven in the family. My beloved brothers and sisters, we need to show that really, that through the fruit we can show the love of God. So the love of the individual, family, tribe, nation, world, and the universe, and ultimately the essential love of God. We need to connect with all that, and that is happening in the family. So True Father always talks about that the 8 courses of true love, that we need to go through that, and we need to be victorious in the individual, family, in the tribe, in the nation, in the world, in the cosmos, and God. True Father has mentioned those 8 stages of this to be victorious. So how about as an individual? How much have I loved all things? How much have I loved people? And how much have I loved God and true parents? How much have I become really one in mind and body, and have set up the foundation to love heaven? So how much in the family have I really established the 4 great levels of heart and the 3 kingships? And how about in my tribal messiahship? Have I really been able to connect with my clan, and really have I really loved my clan as a tribe messiah? And how about if you think about the nation even? How much have I really sacrificed myself to establish God's nation? And then we have the world that is remaining. So how much have I really loved the world symbolically? Have I really offered my donation for one nation? Have I really pioneered for one nation in my life. And then the next one is even the spirit world. How can we really, we have to go through all these 8 levels. That is what True Father is saying. And the model starts in the family. It's in the family where the model begins. So as parents, we have received from the parents everything, and we need to connect. We need to connect everything in marriage with everything that we receive. So come on. We inherit everything through the parents. The course to marry and become parents ourselves as we raise children is the course to completely inherit God's true love. If we raise children, then we realize how much God has loved us, and we can inherit God's love. So as we raise children, we can realize how much God has loved me as we are raising our children, and we can inherit God's love through that experience. So my spiritual daughter is here. So her daughter was living with me for 1 year in Australia, and I heard a lot of thoughts that the daughter expressed, and I realized many things as we connected with her. And she has received the blessing now and has 2 children now that she's raising, and she has grown so much. So she has learned to love her husband. They have learned to respect each other as husband and wife, and they have learned to really raise their children. And in that process, and how much she's realizing how much her own parents have loved her so much. The child is called Amy. My mother is already 90 years this year, and she's still alert, and she's in a senior citizen center, and I'm always praying for her, and I feel like if she could just really live 1 more minute and 1 more second on this earth. So also my father-in-law is living with me, and we're eating every morning breakfast and lunchtime together. And I really, his situation is not so easy, but I'm really praying that he can live for 1 more minute, for 1 more second. This is the heart I have. He represents God in this family. So as I'm raising children, I can realize how much my own parents have loved me, and how much God has loved me, and how much true parents have loved me. It is the heart of filial piety. This is Hyoshim, the heart of filial piety. So as mankind is maturing, then through the filial piety, there is a connection with God, and there is a connection with one's parents, and that's how we can become perfect individualistically. It is like mind and body becoming one. And what is the motivation for mind and body to become one is really the filial piety. When we really love our parents as a filial son, then we can't help but live and create oneness between mind and body. And how does the physical body get controlled? It's because if the heart is really connected with filial piety towards one's parents, then we can only we really want to obey our parents, and then the mind and body naturally become one. If you have the filial piety to love your parents, then this is really the foundation for mind and body unity. So my question is, do you really love your parents? Do you really love your mother and father, or do you think, oh, I have so much grudge against my parents because they raised me like that? Of course, it's not the case that the parents do everything right. There are, of course, complaints, but why do we need to be grateful towards our parents? It's not a matter of whether they did right or wrong. It's the fact that you have a mother, the fact that you have a father. That is a reason to be grateful. This is amazing that you have a father, a physical mother, that you should feel overwhelmed with gratitude. It doesn't matter whether they did the right thing for you or not. We need to go beyond that. I came into the Unification Church, and because of them, I have met true parents. Because of my parents, I have met also the blessing. I have also received the divine principle, and I've become such a good person. So it doesn't matter whether my parents were good or bad. It's really the filial heart that you need to have. And if you want to mature in your life of faith, then you need to have the heart of filial piety.
우리가 결혼해서 자녀를 기르면서 자신이 부모가 되어가는 노정은 하나님의 참 사랑을 온전히 상속받기 위한 노정이다. 이렇게 말씀을 드릴 수가 있습니다.
So we can say the course to marry and become parents ourselves as we raise children is the course to completely inherit God's love. So now we are talking about the fall of man. These are Father's words directly. True Father was presented with a question by a member, and the question is, we are told not to fall after listening to a lecture of chapter 2. Then when do we have the portion of responsibility? This was a question, and True Father answered, the moment you get to know the human fall, when you heard the divine principle for the first time and understand the human fall. And Father is talking about how serious that is. You should not do what you are not supposed to do, even though you are already aware of it. That's why we have to thoroughly educate people. The thing hanging on a man is the head of a viper, and the thing hanging on a woman is a poison jar. You should inject this thought into people's consciousness when talking about chapter 2. Do you feel good when thinking of it? We do feel good actually, but it's more frightful than the viper and the poison jar. Once you make a mistake, even your own son and daughter will perish too. All of you will perish. When there is a contagious disease, the whole world perishes. Isn't that true? You must put it in a right way. That's why you need to put in practice centering on this. So from now on, you must cleanse nationwide with this tradition cleanly. This is a very important word. It's the first exposure to the fall of man. So if you fall, then you go to hell. But so I need to really. So when Father is asking about the fall, when does Father said, before you hear the fall of man, you receive forgiveness. But once you hear the fall of man, so then you are asked to be responsible. Of course, true parents give us the holy wine, and everything is, and true Father is taking responsibility for giving us the holy wine. And this is really the mission of the Messiah, and cleanses us. But the problem is, like, it is like the question is, our original mind is the question is, do we take responsibility for that? So if you want to receive liberation from your own conscience, And you need to
부모님으로 말미암아 성주를 통해서 뭐 성주를 이번에도 우리가 마십니다만은 깨끗하게
You also-
되는 건 틀림없어요. 부모는
it's true through the holy wine, and this time also through the grace we are totally liberated. But the question is, what is my own conscience? How is my own conscience? We need to be cleansed from that. We need to really work on that we can take off the dirty clothes and we can wash them. We have to really wash clothes that are dirty very well. So whenever you have such a thought, then you think about immoral thought, or you have always this connection with the fall of man, then you have to really be repentful, and you have to really be sorry for that my ancestors had also this problem of immorality, my father and my great-grandfather, all of them. So this is really God's sorrow, and this is really God's problem, and how frustrated is God about that? And how can I liquidate that? God has forgiven us for everything. But the most important is that I need to be receiving liberation. It's really very important. So it is very serious when we teach the fall of man. We have to understand that in the beginning, through the principle of creation, we need to understand that God is my father, God is my parent. And then second, also that we understand and completely understand the eternal life and spirit world. And the third point is like that we really understand the essence and existence of Satan, and we have to really systematically teach that. And the third part is then who are the true parents? Why did they come onto this earth? And we need to also teach very thoroughly the blessing and the meaning of it. So these are true parents' words. Like, so we need to understand. Father says very clearly, like the male sexual organ is like the head of a viper, because we are still filled with a fallen world. So whenever I have a strange thought related to immorality, then my sexual organ becomes like a viper. So we have to think like that, and we have to also convey that to people, that they understand that, so that can be restored. My sexual organ is holy. My husband's sexual organ is sacred, and we need to really understand that and move from the fallen to the ideal world. So the moment that Adam and Eve fell was just a moment, and a horrible history of evil has started because of one moment. So when you think of the 8 billion people that are living, how much do they suffer because of that one incident? And think about all the spirit world, all these ancestors. How much are they suffering and because of this incident? You cannot imagine how much the fall has caused so much suffering. So it's the same thing. Like even on this earth, when I have a thought, the wrong thought, then really I have an influence over my children and my descendants. I have to think about that, and I have to really remember that I die if I eat that fruit, and understand. So we need to really understand that as a warning, really seriously. So we really need to understand, if we eat the fruit, then this is a moment when we die spiritually. And you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die. And we must not forget for a moment that this warning from God was not just given to Adam and Eve, but to everyone living in this age.
부모가 죄은지를 해결하는 방법은 자식이 어떠한 일이 있더라도 다 축복받게 하는 겁니다.
So how can we solve the sin of our parents? The only solution is that we can bring our children to the blessing. We can really make our children receive the blessing, and if they can really understand this content, and they can really, through the blessing, become good and pure sons and daughters, and then through that they can receive forgiveness, and they can really, we can liquidate the sin. The next content, we have to go a little bit, we don't have so much time, so I will go. The next topic is I will read first the Bible, the Matthew from 5:3-12. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. These are the Beatitudes. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil things because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So I'd like to talk about rebirth, centered on this topic. So I'm just finishing by the end of February, and I want to go a little bit over time because it's so important. The heart of a resurrection, the heart of a resurrected person. Now is the age of bearing fruit, the age of love. In this era of love, we must become people of the heart, not people of the physical body. A true heart, a mourning heart, and a gentle heart. These three are the hearts of a resurrected person. These three hearts are contained within children as they are. If you look at little babies, they have a true heart, a mourning heart, and a humble heart. Young babies have no concept or ownership of themselves. In the Bible, we just read, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Here, poor in spirit refers to a heart without self. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. What kind of mourning heart are you living with? Do you mourn centering on your body, or do you mourn centering on your heart? Most people just worry and mourn, centering on the circumstances of their bodies, when in fact we should be mourning, centering on our hearts. Can you differentiate between body-centered mourning and heart-centered mourning? We must cherish the sorrow centered on our heart, the sincere devotion centered on our heart, and the heart of gentleness centered on our heart. Beloved brothers and sisters, now is the age of the Chonulguk era. It is the era of bearing fruit, the age of love. In this era of love, we must become people of the heart, not people of the physical body. We need to become people of heart. It talks about in the Bible that blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So what does that mean if you are poor? When you are hungry constantly, then you long for food. So it says, blessed are poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. They're talking about longing. They're talking about really poor in spirit. It refers to spiritually, to thirst spiritually and pursue the truth. It refers to a heart that is completely dependent on God, with a thirsty heart, because it cannot solve problems on its own. And those who are rich in spirit do not pursue the truth and are intoxicated with self-satisfaction.
그들의 것입니다. 그랬습니다. 여기서 방금 말씀드렸지만 심령이 가난하다는 것은
It says those who are poor in spirit,
너무 갈급한 거예요.
their heart is thirsting for the truth. If I live like this, I shouldn't really live like that. So if I have such a conflict, I shouldn't really live like this. I want to become a true person, but I want to become a person of original nature. And I'm so thirsty for becoming becoming like that. And this is the symbolism of being poor in spirit. So this thirsty heart, and that really, as I'm fighting with my body and I'm studying the word and I want to really become one with Abel. So as we're looking for the word and we're looking for Abel and we're really looking for the true love, this is really a person that is looking for the kingdom of heaven. This person that is poor in spirit has a pure heart and has a thirsty heart for the truth and is really living centered on God. So that means like a child that is living without the self. Poor in spirit refers to a heart that thirsts spiritually and pursues the truth. It refers to a heart that is completely dependent on God, with a thirsty heart that is totally relying on God. But those who are rich in spirit, on the contrary, do not pursue the truth and are intoxicated with self-satisfaction. But the poor in spirit are like children. They are not proud and have no two faces. So the poor in spirit, the poor in spirit would really love to hear the truth. They heard it yesterday and they want to hear it again. And I want to become a true person, and I want to really become a filial child, and I want to really become a person that can love my spouse. And I want to really become a true husband and wife. This kind of longing, this longing and yearning I have, that is a person who is poor in spirit, and they are looking for the kingdom of heaven. Next, Matthew 5-4 says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." What kind of mourning heart are you living with? Are you living centered on your body and mourn and about your situation, or are you centered on your spirit? Most people are just worried about their physical circumstances, but we really need to be centered on our heart and mourn centered on our heart. You need to be discerning. Can you differentiate between body-centered mourning and heart-centered mourning? What should we eat? What should I wear? If you just think only about that, if you think, oh, if I don't have money, then that's just physical mourning. But this kind of mourning that it talks about is a heart-centered mourning. So how about my heart? What kind of devotion do I offer in my heart? I want to really become a person of truth. I want to really, even though I have this fallen nature, I have always a struggle with my spouse, and I have a struggle with my Abel, and I have a struggle with my children, and my mind and body are struggling as well. Oh God, how can I solve this? I want to really follow goodness, but look at my situation. I'm just really mourning about that situation, and I'm really so cry to God, and I really wail to God about that and say, I want to become a true person, even though I hear God's sorrowful heart, even I hear about God and I can't even cry about that. And that means I'm still far away from being a true person. When I look at a miserable person, I should really cry, but I can't. And what dilemma is that I can't really do that? Like Saint Paul, who said who really cried over himself that he could not be a true person, and we need to really cry that we cannot become a true person, and God will feel comfort in that, and God will give us power when we come to God with this dilemma and with this heart of mourning. Now, next content is the first stage to resurrecting the heart. Our life of heart begins with a true heart, a mourning heart, and a gentle heart. We have no way to preserve our hearts unless our hearts are humble. The heart that says, I hate it, I like it, if I'm happy, I'm sad. According to our environment, and mood is not our spiritual heart, but a heart centered on physical things. Our original mind does not want to compromise with the circumstances of the physical body. Our original mind itself is always meek and without conflict. The problem is that conflict arises because we live centered on the physical body. Our original mind has an absolute relationship with God. Originally, everyone was naturally born as a being with an original nature. A person of original nature is like a person I have already met, even though I see them for the first time. And I feel like that person is the same in any environment. A humble heart, a gentle heart, a heart without conflict, and a heart without self-assertiveness. This is the heart of a resurrected being. This kind of mind is the first step in resurrecting the heart. This is really precious. A heart that yearns to find the truth, a heart that mourns, and a heart that is meek. Is when I commit sin, then I start crying. When I can't become one with my husband and wife, then I start crying. When I think about God's situation, then I really feel sorry for God and start crying. This is the mourning heart. Really is when you can deny yourself and you can attend the other first and think of the object partner as the subject partner, and think of your object partner as an Abel, and you think of your object as God's son or daughter. When you have that humble heart, then we can really then it's really, you have the real beginning of the resurrection begins with that heart. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. If we are arrogant or assertive, we will eventually lose everything.
예를 들면 양반집에서 부잣집에 있는 사람인데
in the past, when you think about the Yangbans, when the child died early, and there is no one else but only servants, and there are no relatives, and the sons and daughters already have died. So then the land that it was owned by the Yangban, who was it given to? It was given to one servant who showed the biggest loyalty towards the master and had the biggest heart of obedience. And so the owner wants to give everything to the one that is meek and humble. So then you receive everything, you get the entire inheritance. But if we have no humble heart, if you have an arrogant and assertive, self-assertive heart, then you will lose everything. The one who is humble and who is obedient, the owner wants to give everything. So in the end, the obedient will inherit everything from the owner. So in this way, those who are absolutely obedient and humble before their parents, able in the word, are filial children. Filial children inherit everything from their parents. If you have seven brothers and sisters, so who has the qualification to inherit everything? It's the one who is the most humble. The person who is really investing the most and is serving most for the parents. Those who are really the most obedient will inherit everything. So if you just live centered on ourselves and we just always feel like I don't like it, I like it, or I'm happy, I feel sad, and obey just the physical environment, they lose everything because they become people who are not recognized by their masters.
아이고, 무슨 사정이 있었길래 그렇지. 그런 부모의 잘못된 것이 있거들라. 내가 책임지고 내가 그 빚을 다 갚아서라도 우리 아버지를 정말 편안하게 모셔야 되겠다.
We have to think that if a child has really the heart that like I want to take responsibility even for the debt that my parents have accumulated and repay that, and I will we cannot really be just think we just inherit the cross from our parents and we're just our life is ruined. We cannot think that. So we need to really it's the problem is if we live only centered on our physical body, then there is conflict. So we need to have, as it says in the Bible, a humble heart, a gentle heart, a heart without conflict, and a heart without self-assertiveness. This is the heart of a resurrected being. This kind of mind is the first step in resurrecting the heart. Now the next part is hunger and thirst for righteousness. Next, the second step is those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. The Bible says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." For you, a person who hungers and thirsts for are you a person who hungers and thirsts for righteousness? Are you a person who is really hungry for a righteous life? In other words, just and has a desperate heart like someone who is thirsty for water? To be hungry for righteousness means to be eager to do what is right. What is righteousness? It means to value all my relationships, and it means not to be capricious and maintain that righteous relationship well. In order for the relationship to be righteous, there must be no self-assertion. Therefore, righteousness does not have a self-assertion, but it has the property of valuing relationships and considering it as their life. So a righteous person is a person who considers relationships, life, and takes responsibility well. A righteous person is a person who has a good conjugal relationship, a good parent-child relationship, and a good sibling relationship within the family and remains unchanged. A righteous person also refers to a person who attends ceremonies and maintains their customs well in their realm of life. People who wake up and attend Sunday service can also be called righteous. Righteousness has no concept of self. A heart that values relationships like this is where faith begins. We say people that make a lot of effort, they are receiving also blessings. So we cannot be changeable or the evil is always changing, centered on the circumstances. It cannot be consistent. It always changes. That is unrighteousness. So what is righteousness? It's once we have a certain mind, we maintain that mindset. When I believe in true parents once, and I believe true parents once, then no matter what circumstances I go through, I will always maintain that relationship. When I have received that Heavenly Parent is my parent, no matter how difficult the circumstances are, I will continue believing and I will go. And once we have received the blessing, then no matter how evil the wife is or how evil the husband is, because the blessing is precious, I will not change. I will eternally love you. Why? Because the blessing is precious, because God is precious. And when I have that mind, then I will maintain that relationship, and that is righteousness. So the Bible is in Matthew is explaining deeply the righteousness, and it is like an incredible words about righteousness. I feel this in the Matthew it's when Jesus goes to the mountain also in this area of the Chonuguk era. It's very applicable. So it became a little long today, but I will continue here the speech. Thank you.
말씀 잘 들으셨어요? 매일매일마다 말씀이 계속 나오죠.
Yeah, was it every day? Did you listen well? Every day there's new words, right? Thank you so much for attending.
마음이 어디로 가느냐 하면 내가 정말 존경하고 사랑하는
I want to
김영수 우리 원로 목사님한테 마음이 오늘 갑니다.
today I want to hear Reverend Kim, who I respect a lot. Please give your short reflection, please, Reverend Kim.
예, 마음의 사람이 되어야 하고
We need to
참된
become
마음,
people of heart
마음을 가져야
and have a mourning heart and become have a gentle heart. Those three hearts that you spoke about and that moved me today. It was really very deep words. Thank you so much for the precious words given today.
다음은 어디로 가고 싶으냐 하면 우리 아오키상이 얼굴이 니꼬 가오하고 있습니다. 아오키상 요로시쿠 오네가이시마스.
皆様おはようございます。本当に今日も、深い、本当に私に本当に必要な御言葉に心から感謝申し上げます。私、本当に先生がですね、シドニーに帰られて、家庭の中に入られてですね、先生もすごい変わられたなって、本当に、この語る御言葉が、ラメンジの時よりも、またアメリカの時よりも、本当に深い内容に、もう先生のその心がですね、ますます家庭の中で磨き上げられているんだなっていうことをとても感じております。
자, 지하쿠 시대가라네. 아오키상이 뭐라고 그랬냐면, 물론 용 회장님, 네, 그냥 전체 내용은 안 하고 간단하게 이야기하면 아오키상 얘기가 용 회장님이 말씀을 들으면 언제나 은혜를 받지만
She said that she always has received grace from the word when she listened to it in America in the past, but after Dr. Young returned to Australia, she feels that the speech became even deeper, and there's even more grace received since Dr. Young went back and lived with his family.
가정에서 사랑을 경험하고 느낀다는 게 얼마나 중요한지 모르는 것입니다.
To live in the family and feel the love in the family is so important and so really crucial.
매일 정말 훈독의 말씀을 실천해서
we need to really substantiate the Hundoke words and also for our clan. And I'd like to really diligently practice the word. So I'm really grateful for the word and I love you.
하얗고 시나이 또 저기 훈독스러운데 시간이 많이 걸리면 안 되니까 그래도 처음이니까 그런데 하여튼 열심히 해줘서 고마워 사또미 짱. 네 그래서 시간이 많이 지났고요.
Thank you so
그래서
much.
또 여러분 뭐 하고 싶은 말씀 다 많겠지만
You have a lot of words, I'm sure, and reflection that you'd like to give. So I feel so much love for you all, and when I think of finishing this 100K at the end of February, and I'm really sad about that. And I'm thinking of Reverend Chong, who's really doing like he's working on the farm, and I feel like he has made a lot of he's resurrected a lot since I've seen him. So now let us pray and join in unison prayer.
사랑과 은혜가 충만하신 하나님, 여러분 말씀을 주시거든 우리의 마지막 것도 안 정성을 더
愛してくださる御言葉の高さに心から申し上げます。私も本当にこの御言葉が強く毎日疲れないところ、堕落性が強いところを今見ながら神様がいけない。ここはこうするんだ。本当におっしゃるこの御言葉に心から感動し、また私を導かしてくださるこの御言葉に心から感謝申し上げる次第でございます。御言葉を深く本当に神様の本当に接する道をさせて
주입니다. 여러분 감사합니다. 네. 우리 김주상 장로님, 이순재 권사님 얼굴 좀 보여요. 이순재 권사님. 권사님. I love you.
I love you. 사랑합니다.
예, 감사합니다. 와사나. 와사나. 거kum마카. 예, 나오미 오무라さん, 니지마 히토미さん, ちゃんと今、ちょっと近くなっているのに、今月の末に終わるので申し訳ありません。瞳だから、Hi to me, Hi to me. 私、Hello してくださいという意味なの。정주상 장로님, 사랑합니다. Mike, thank you for your beautiful daughter. Wow. She resembled, not you, she resembled your wife. Okay?
Yes.
友はお母さんもと似てるじゃないかと思っていますけどね。小玉さん、高橋和美さん、ありがとうございます。青木さん、ありがとうございます。美代子さんの孫だ、ありがとうございます。みちこ久保さん、ありがとうございます。島谷夫婦、ありがとうございます。島谷、何かしまったな。寺尾和子さん夫婦、ありがとうございます。 김영수 장로님, 목사님, 감사합니다. 사토미さん, うちの子寺さとみはいつも美しいですよ。主人からたくさん愛をもらっているかな。ね、本当にね。감사합니다. 모리사코さん, 愛しています。나린티 거kum마카. 또 우리 입구구상いますね。本当にね。ね、下村 夫婦、本当にありがとうございます。茶園直美さん、ありがとうございます。酒井さん夫婦、ありがとうございます。今日も頑張ってください。佐藤よん、감사합니다。香織森下さん、実体的に顔と顔、一緒に本当に会いたいって、コーヒーもちょっと一緒に飲みたい気持ちがいっぱいあります。堀切さん、 호리키리さん, I love you so much. Your incredible dedication, 호리키리さん, 감사해요. 그리고 또 누구냐면 가케치카 아치코さん 아리가또 고자이마스. 4月会うことができるかなと思っていますけどね。ありがとうございます。今村さん、今日知訳本当にありがとうございます。첨찬 씨, 아리가또 고자이마스. 볶음마카. 쭈루타니 후후 감사합니다. 문효원 권사님 감사해요. 맡기고 알았다니 후후. 와, 와, 와. 年が取れば取るほど風がもっともっととっても似ていますよ。もう本当に愛すれば風がもっと似ているんだって。だから新たに夫婦はもっとお互いがとても愛しているみたいですね。ありがとうございます。ハニオジョン、コクンマカ、テラオカジコさん夫、ありがとうございます。Herbert, 원경, 우리 권사님, thank you very, 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 very much for your beautiful dedication. 와우, 아라타니さんの孫ですね。ありがとうございます。ね、坂上さん、MK、그다음에 로차나, 가와사키 케이코さん、岩田さん、ユキカリアスさん、久保田靖子さん、ウィリーココンマカ、下見幸子さん、いつ一緒にコーヒー飲むことができますか？幸子ゆきまち、ありがとうございます。コジュエコンセプション、ジョエルワイフ、マニパンココンマカ、なんやね。主人が早く病気から治るように빨리 병 나을 수 있도록 부탁합니다. 하나코상도 조인했다. 우리 나병호 장로님 뭐 교통사고 났다며 빨리빨리 쾌유되시기를 바라겠습니다. 여러분 사랑합니다. 오늘 하루도 승리하세요. Thank you very much. See you
감사합니다.
tomorrow. See you tomorrow
감사합니다.
morning.
ありがとうございます。
감사합니다.
頑張ります。
감사